Welcome to Transform Now, a podcast focused on intelligent automation and brought to you by SS&C Blue Prism. On this program, we talk about how organizations globally are rethinking the way they operate, utilizing process orchestration and AI-enabled digital workers to free up humans to do the work that matters most. We also share insights and tips on how you can embrace this new way of working and unleash your full potential. Let's get into the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blue Prism Live. We're here in Dallas, Texas. We've had a full day of presentations and great discussions about everything going on in the world of intelligent automation. And it's exciting to be doing a live podcast as well. And we've got a very special guest here. I've got Paul Branson, who is from our partner Novelis. They are an automation consultancy, and we're going to learn all about Novelis and Paul and talk about some of the topics that have been mulled about here today in Dallas. So Paul,
Absolutely.
welcome. Good
Thank
to
you
have
very
you on
much.
here.
Appreciate it.
Why don't you provide a quick introduction? Tell everyone about yourself.
Sure. So again, Paul Branson, I'm the Director of Solution Engineering at Novelis. I've been with the company since last year. Before that, I've spent a lot of time in automation. I should probably be forward and say I am also a Blue Prism alumni. So I spent several years at Blue Prism. I know automation quite well.
Yeah.
10 years at Microsoft, part automation there, search industry, and then part some niche IDP solutions. So a lot of access to information, access to data. It's been kind of a theme throughout, I think, my career so far.
Yeah, that's an interesting combination of stops you've had.
It has been.
I can see how the combination of those experiences would really equip you well for this whole era of GenAI and what we're dealing with.
It has. It's been, I think, a benefit has been working both with small companies,
Yep.
large companies like Microsoft. Plus, I've been on the other side. So Charles Schwab, I was on the IT side. So I've been on the side that implements and would use something, but I've also been on the side that does the implementation where I am now.
Awesome. So let's talk about your company that you're with now, Novelis. So I know Novelis is based in Paris, France.
Correct. Great place to go.
Yes, it is. Much better than Paris, Texas, I might add.
There, so
Although no offense to Paris, Texas. And Novelis now has made a big foray into the United States or to North America.
Correct.
Talk about what Novelis is all about.
Sure.
How should we think of your organization?
Sure. So at a very high level, we do business process efficiency. Now that sounds a little narrow, but in reality, as we'll talk through on the show, there's a lot to that. But that's effectively all we do. We specialize in process efficiency. And we'll go into what that means, but that's everything from discovering what's wrong with the process, doing something to solve the process, and then making sure that the customer is set in order to govern their process moving forward. Now, again, we're based out of Paris, France. We've got customers from North America to Middle East, strong presence in Europe. And as you said, we're bringing that to the US now. We are both a services company as well as a software company. We'll get into a little bit of that.
Yeah.
In fact, we are a Blue Prism Gold partner on the services side. And I think we're only one of maybe a couple companies that are also a TAP partner. So we do have a software product that we develop, as well as all of the services we do around processes.
Excellent. Talk about how you work with companies to help them in their automation journey. Those that are getting started, those who have been at it for a while, but they stalled out a little bit. And then those that are humming along and they need an advisor to walk with them along that path. So give us a flavor for that. If you will.
Sure. And that's been a lot of our bread and butters in the past. It's automation. Again, big Blue Prism partner. We've got, 40 or 50 certified Blue Prism consultants. The company is around 160 large. So we've got a lot of capabilities. Probably take a quick step back, and our methodology, our very high level methodology, work with customers is assess, optimize, governance. So if you think of those, assessment would be what's wrong with it. We'll get into business or process intelligence. The optimization is, hey, how are we going to fix this? Process intelligence, we're a big fan of because data decision, but that could be automation. That's automation plus GenAI. That, obviously the big buzz today, just your run of the mill AI, or it could just be training. Hey, we just identified that somebody needs to be training. And then in order to run at scale, governance. So we're very big into making sure that the customer is able to establish maybe an automation COE, a process intelligence COE, which has a bit of a different flavor. But at the same time, if we're improving a process, and you think of that assess, optimize, governance, that just is very cyclical. That's why my hand's going in circles. Kids, because you do the next project or the next process, you rinse and repeat. So the more that we train the customers to be able to do that rinse and repeat, the better they are to be self-sustained and grow the program, which, everybody, it's win for everyone.
I hear you saying that it's your goal to get the customer as self-sufficient as possible, as quickly as possible. Is that a big part of your approach, that you want to get them to the place where they can pick it up and carry it forward?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the reality is, well, a couple of things. So from a process intelligence point, right, then as you fix a process, you can continue to use process intelligence to monitor that process. But we can also hand that off to the business. So now the business is monitoring their own process. They're making sure that the improvements that were made, that optimization, don't stray, right? We don't start to have multiple variations of some sort of process. So that enables the business to be self-sufficient. Now, the reality is, a lot of customers will continue to need help to create new automations, or especially in this GenAI space, right? Really reimagine how they should be implementing change. And it may not be just a change to a process, maybe, reimagine the process altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. So your firm really does do quite a bit with process intelligence. That's a part of your footprint or part of your approach. I know you bring forward quite a bit. Talk about why that's so important to the work you do with customers and the impact that you see it having on their automation journey.
Yep, absolutely. So we are a strategic partner with Blue Prism on Blue Prism Process Intelligence, BPI. So we're a big believer in it because, number one, it's a data-driven process that tells you, here's some data-driven results and analysis that help you dictate that optimization phase. So as you analyze a process, leveraging, we can really break out process mining and task mining as well, but let's talk with process mining as first. We'll say, hey, you've got all of the data from these systems. So as folks are leveraging different systems, there's this breadcrumb trail of what they've been doing. You can take that and you can truly analyze over a large set of data how a process is being run by the user. Now, one of the first things we find typically when we do these projects is we go back to the process owner and we say, here's all the variations that are being done. They say, no, the process designed to do that. This is what people are doing. We say, no, they're not. They are doing all of this. And in fact, we'll find holes in it, which is where now task mining can start to also come in, because they're taking stuff onto their desktop, which is not on one of these systems with logs. And they're doing things there. Maybe that's a compliance issue. Maybe they realize, wow, why are people doing all this? Maybe that's more efficient. Maybe that's but it really allows us to make a much better educated, I would say, goal, or a much better educated result for that optimization. So, for example, with automation, we may look at a process and say, well, there's a bottleneck here. That's great. We can put some automation there and get past that bottleneck. But if we use simulation as part of process intelligence, we can just see that bottleneck is going to shift. Right. So let's make sure we don't just move the problem from one to the other, and our solution answers both.
And beyond the benefits of doing more fact-based approach versus get everyone in the conference room and put stickies up, and which is hopefully that goes away completely.
It certainly still does.
There's also the monitoring or the reporting or the analysis after you've already done the automations. The tracking and reporting to see if it's running the way you anticipated, you're getting the benefits. Is that another big part of the benefit you find from process mining connected to automation?
Absolutely. And that's really where the process intelligence. So if you think of process mining as getting the data, getting it into a tool. And when we specialize a lot in getting that data to the tool, that's not always easy. Sometimes you just connect to a system. Sometimes you have to merge logs together. We have a lot of specialty development background to do that. And the other half of it is the analysis. Now, a huge part of process intelligence is knowing what data you're looking for. If you don't have the right data going into the tool, it's just not going to tell you what you're looking the way out. So step one, understand what to get before you put the data in the tool. And then second, of course, as you talk about, is on the way out. So now we do the analysis. You make that change to your process. And now that the change has been made, continue to put the data into the tool because it is going to tell you, it's going to alert you if you start to miss SLAs. So now you have an SLA for 1 hour for customer onboarding.
Right.
And it can start to see in advance saying you're getting close to that 1 hour,
Right.
or it's going to break. Or you can say for this very particular type of onboarding of account, you're starting to run into problems. Great, let's go fix that problem.
Right.
So it just gives you this amazing visibility, all again, data driven, unbiased data, as to how to approach.
Yeah. Well, we need to talk about GenAI because it's been a big topic here today.
Of course.
And I haven't been surprised by the level of interest, and people appear to be kind of all over the spectrum. Some are just still exploring it. Others are going, crazy in that direction. So talk about Novelis and what gives you guys a special edge in this space.
Sure. So this is for us the most exciting thing, right? So I'll start by saying, like you said, everyone's saying the word GenAI. Everyone says LLM. Everyone's saying model. But we, however, have what we call Novelis research. So the company was founded in 2017. In 2018, our CEO, Mehdi Nafi, had the foresight to create an AI lab.
Okay.
We have taken 26% of our revenue year over year into Novelis research that funds this project, which is by and large separate from customer engagements. And they have focused on foundational AI, NLP, computer vision, machine learning models for several years. We have multiple projects that have already been built, one that does summarization of documents, one that does redaction of documents, one that does code generation before ChatGPT ever came out.
Wow.
So we've been working in this space.
Yeah.
We've been published in Elsevier and Computer Science Journal. They've done multiple scientific publications, multiple international competitions, Microsoft, Yale, Cornell. So we have a lot of expertise that we're very excited to take advantage of exactly where this field is.
So has Novelis actually developed large language models of your own that you can provide to your customers, or is it other things around a large language model?
So it's less of creating large language models because there's a million out there, right? You go to Hugging Face and there's So what we bring is the ability to know where to go get that. And even if you go get a specialty large language model that's been built for the finance or healthcare, you're starting to see the proliferance of specialized models by folks like Johnson Labs that specialize in healthcare. But we have the capability of, number one, picking the right model, which is huge. I think this is where 2024 is really going to go.
Customers need a lot of help with that. Yeah.
And then fine tuning the model, preventing model drift, preventing hallucination. So that's the expertise that we've been bringing. We've been doing large language models for a while, but there's a lot of folks out there that, you go to your LinkedIn feed and you're going to see everyone says GenAI. But it's exciting that the market is now at that place where we can really bring our.
I looked at your leadership team on your website and a lot of PhD type AI gurus. So everything you're telling me doesn't surprise me. You've got the people leading the company that's part of their fiber. So
exactly. Yeah. We've got, I think it's 15 PhDs in now as part of Novelis research.
Wow. You better get to work.
I'm working on catching up fast as I can at this point, but it's an exciting place to be.
Yeah. Where are you seeing companies starting? Is there like a particular type of use case that leverages GenAI the most? What does that look like?
Yep. Yeah. So we're working with several companies already in this space. And in fact, today we just announced 3 products, assistants. So we've got a data assistant, a marketing assistant, and a legal assistant, all model-based behind the scenes that are starting to drive into very specific. So data assistant, think of insurance, right? So you get insurance policies, lots of text, data in multiple silos. So not only the customer being able to say, hey, here's my incident, am I covered? But it's also the ability for an agent to say, hey, this customer may have a risk. They may have a gap. Hey, did you know that you don't even have coverage on X or Y? And that's very difficult to do today. You and I could have a very similar policy, but based on our addendums, that could be the difference between a lot of money and not a lot of money. So lots of summarization documents. The legal assist, very similar concept. This one's actually pretty exciting. We're doing with a government agency, judicial agency. And what it does is it's the ability to analyze and summarize a case, but also find similar cases right? The precedents, because
Yep.
everything's based on precedents,
Mhm.
and deliver all of that very quickly to the lawyers, paralegals,
Mhm.
judges, even provide recommendations based on other cases. So it's
Okay.
a huge starting point where normally they would have to go to a million different locations
Yeah.
to find all this data. We're bringing it, summarizing it all
Yeah.
very quickly.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. Well, I could talk about GenAI all day with you, but I want to talk about your SmartRoby products that you mentioned earlier. You're not just a delivery partner of Blue
Correct.
Prisms, you're also a technology alliance partner, which means you have your own products that you can sell directly to customers, or our company can sell it on your behalf.
Yep.
Talk about what it is and kind of how it's providing great benefits to your customers.
Sure. So we saw the niche in the market with automation. A lot of people have all the automation, and couple things. Number one is orchestration.
Mhm.
So Blue Prism's coming out with Director. There's
Mhm.
other people that do orchestration.
Mhm.
SmartRoby certainly does orchestration and smart orchestration. But on top of that, what we want to do is expand the personas to who could use this RPA platform,
Mhm.
which is the real big piece of it. So
Yeah.
number one is a business user.
Yes.
So the process owner. So it allows them to come in the platform. They can see where are their processes, have they executed, are they still in the pipeline?
Mhm.
More importantly, did an exception occur?
Mhm.
So if an exception occurred, a business data exception, that
Mhm.
shouldn't be the COE that has to handle that.
Right.
We allow the business user
Mhm.
to resubmit. Maybe they go add somebody to a system. That's
Yeah.
why the process failed. They'll go add it. They can resubmit the process.
Right.
They can even change some of the data if
Yeah.
allowed to say, oh, the data is incorrect.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it from SmartRoby, reinitiate that automation, goes back into a queue and executes. We bring the business user into it.
Mhm.
And we also bring management. So now
Yeah.
you've got the folks that care about the ROI,
Yeah.
that care about profitability ratios and payback
Mhm.
period. So we give them the ability to get into the platform, see what's going on with the automation so that they can see that their investment as a whole in automation is worthwhile, helps to grow automation as a whole.
Yeah. What a tremendous asset. I know every company that's doing automation is serious about it. They need that governance. They need that management reporting layer, all those things that you just talked
Great
about.
conversations around SmartRoby right now. Very exciting conversations. Yeah.
Paul, thank you for being with me. It was a
Great.
pleasure talking to
Thank you.
And Novelis is certainly set up for success in the Americas, just like you have done in EMEA. And I wish you guys the best.
Well, thank you very much. Great being here.
Thank you for listening to Transform Now, the podcast from SS&C Blue Prism. You can find all of our episodes on your favorite podcast channel, as well as YouTube. To stay on top of the hottest topics in the world of intelligent automation, subscribe now. The future of work is here.